What's up, guys? Good afternoon and welcome to Roma Theory. Roma 0, Torino 1. First defeat of the season. That was one of the most brutal watches as a Roma fan in 20 years of my life that I've seen at the stadium. That was fucking bad. Um, I feel like I just got stabbed. It feels like I just got stabbed because these are the defeats that really catch me out of surprise. And I hate it when they're so unexpected. These unexpected defeats that you just don't expect come about early kickoff, sun in the eyes for 90 minutes, roasting, sweating, terrible game. These are the defeats that I hate the most because they are unexpected, and I think nobody today expected us to lose. Nobody. I think if you ask 99% of Roma fans the score of today's game before the game, I think 99.9% would have said we won. And we would have won. Today, we got everything wrong. We got everything wrong, from the decisions to the attitude to the game plan to the starting 11 to the substitutions. I think today was, it's a weird one to analyze because I don't understand why we changed so much. It makes no sense. I think Gasperini is to blame today because I think he got everything wrong. I think he got everything wrong. I truly believe that you don't change a formation that wins. You don't change a formation that wins, especially now that the Europa League still hasn't kicked in, especially now that the players are still fresh. A lot of them stayed in Rome during the international break. A lot of them were ready to play this game. You don't change a formation that works, especially when the players are fresh and midweek games still haven't kicked in. So this idea of wanting to change a lot to try and change the game plan and catch Torino out of surprise today didn't work one bit. Substitutions, I think we're wrong. We're going to get into detail. But yeah, it was bad. It was bad. First of all, the attitude. Look, I think we looked slow. We looked very slow. We looked very confused. We looked very chaotic today. Nobody got the ball in shot. We always tried to cross this ball. It's that classic game which, if it had continued for another 30 minutes, we still wouldn't have scored. We would have never won today's game. And to make it even worse, it's the classic game that if you concede first, you don't win. You don't win because I said it yesterday in the match preview. Number one, I apologize because I jinxed it badly yesterday. So I apologize for that ultra mega jinx in the match preview. But again, you can't catch me on that one because everyone expected us to win today. I did jinx it very badly. But yeah, Torino isn't Empoli. They started very badly, yes, conceded 5 against Inter and Milan. But Torino is an organized team. You know, Torino is a team that knows, has been in the league for a long time and knows how to prepare these games. So, of course, if you play this game another 10 times, you would probably win 8, draw 1, and lose 1. Today was a wrong day. It was. It happens, absolutely. But I think that there are explanations to this bad day. I don't think it was a one-off because too many things were wrong for it to be a one-off game. You know, had it been a game where we played like Gasperini wants to play, we showed levels of his identity on the pitch, we were very unlucky, we shot 20,000 times, hit 3 posts, and then you lose, you're like, well, it's not my day. There's nothing I can do about it. The fate today didn't want to make me win. And we play a lot of those games. We've seen a lot of those games where we play well, we're better than the opponents, we shoot more than the opponents, we create more than the opponents, and then we hit a bar, we hit a post. But no. Today, no. Today, we didn't deserve to win. Today, Torino wanted it more. today, as I said before, we could have played on for another 45 minutes and we wouldn't have scored. So it's more than a one-off. I think there are reasons to this one-off, which I am going to try and speak about today. I want to make a little premise. I didn't watch the game on the television. I was at the stadium, so if I missed a few things, don't don't attack me. I literally got back 10 minutes ago, so I need to watch the game again, the highlights of the game. Like for example, the last shot, somebody shot it in the box, and it was very close. I don't know who shot that. I couldn't see it. But I'm going to try and break it down chronologically. Starting 11. Not starting Ferguson gave me some initial doubts. I thought he wasn't fit. I thought there was something wrong. I thought he had a little injury. Because not starting Ferguson today proved you that this team can't start the false nine. Especially with physical defenses like Torino's, who I was very surprised in because they have a terrible defense. Today their defense looked like Real Madrid 2015. Oh, and can we open up a little parenthesis on Giovanni Simeone? The guy didn't touch a ball in his last 4 years. Starts against us. I'm not even kidding you. I had flashbacks of prime Drogba today. Can we quickly talk about Simeone today? I personally, I have a personal affair with the Simeone family. I think dad and children of that family have all developed into pricks. The Simeone, the manager, I can't stand. Forget about the Lazio past and everything. I just can't stand the guy. Like I would if I meet Simeone at the groceries today, I would slap him. That's how much I hate him. Then he's got two children. One plays at Atletico, Giuliano Simeone. He's another prick. Simeone is another prick. It's a family full of pricks. There are families out there that just develop into pricks. Well, the Simeone family is a family of pricks. And today, like, could you not, Simeone? You might as well put prime Drogba in there. That goal, if he tries to shoot that 10 more times, he would miss all 10. It wasn't our day. I don't know why I'm laughing. There's nothing to laugh about. It's not a funny day, but you see what I mean? Yeah, look. Number one, that. I think the idea of starting Ferguson is because Gasperini tried to be a genius. And he does these things, which is why there are games. I said this actually in the match preview. I'm very surprised because we had to win today and you can't lose these games. We're going to get into the importance of losing these games in a second. But Gasperini has these off days. It's something that isn't new. Like Gasperini last season, I remember he beat Napoli in Naples 3-0. And in the following game week, he like lost at home to someone. He has these off days. But I think today, this idea of wanting to outsmart the opponents by changing up the formation didn't bring its fruits. You don't change a formation that works. You can't. This team can't play without a main reference up front because it simply can't. And Dybala, El and Soule together, all three, are not heavy enough to commit against a defense, a physical defense like Torino's. So Gasperini is to blame. Gasperini is also to blame for the subs because I think I read that Dybala got injured, and I'm gonna open a parenthesis on Dybala in a second. But you don't, if you sub Dybala off, you don't replace Dybala with Baldanzi. You know what? You know what you had to do? I know that he isn't fit to start, but you know what you had to do today? You had to sub Dybala off and put Pellegrini in. Fit, not fit, this was Pellegrini's game. I don't like Baldanzi. I made it a bit clear in past weeks, in past months. Baldanzi is not good. Look, I don't think he's not good. He doesn't suit a physical league like the Italian league. He's too small, and I've been saying this ever since we signed him. He is too small. He is too small. He gets bullied every single time. And number two, I'm sorry, but his shooting is terrible. I have got a better shooting than Baldanzi. And I stopped playing professional football when I was around 8 years old. Professional football. Football. I stopped playing football outside of school when I was 8 years old. I have a better shooting than Baldanzi. I'm not joking. I have. Everyone here has a better shooting than Baldanzi. And when you sub Dybala off and change the caliber and put Baldanzi in, you can't win these games. Other point to make. Ibrahim, thank you very much for the $20. I woke up at 3:30 a.m. Pacific time zone to watch the game. Really bad to perform. And I had the feeling when the manager did the first substitution. Thank you very much, Ibrahim. We're all feeling like you. Don't worry. Everyone woke up extremely early. Shout out to you because it's not easy. But thank you very much for the super chat, mate. By the way, if you haven't already hit the like button, another point. I said in the Pisa match reaction, I said, if Dybala and Soule continue playing well together, I will put my hand on my heart and apologize. I was right again today. I am not gonna let 20 minutes against the newly promoted side like Pisa change my opinion on Dybala and Soule. Dybala and Soule cannot play together. I don't know in what language I can make this clearer now. I tried in English to you guys. I tried in Italian with my friends. I'm going to say it in French the next time. Dybala and Soule cannot play together. One of the two is wasted. One of the two is limited. And people ask themselves, I was walking back from the stadium today and I heard so many people go, why did Dybala play so shit today? Oh, Dybala played terrible today. No shit. He's a left-footed who is playing on the right. Who is playing on the left. Sorry. I know it's Dybala. I know that he is arguably at times the best player in the league. But, you can't expect somebody who is so naturally good at with his left foot and put him on the left and does the same things with his right. You can't. And same with Soule if you want to put him on the other side. You can't start with two lefties in the same team, in the same position, in the same formation. You can't. So again, I looked wrong. I looked like an idiot in that Pisa game, but you can't let 20 minutes against the newly promoted side change your opinion. They can't play well together. They can't. And I think it's one of the factors as to why we were so shit today. Because this game reminded me of what we played last season at the very beginning in September. What did we do in September last season? Played with Dybala and Soule together. And we play the same. We lack creativity when both of them start. So I stick with that theory. I really do. They can prove me wrong as much as they want, but I still think that they're not idyllic to play together. What else? Defense. I thought the defense was quite good, but that goal that we conceded. I mean, on the delivery, you can't say nothing. You had to be a bit careful on what led to that goal. But at the end of the day, as I said before, Simeone today was on steroids. I want to say two things, and then I'm going to end it because I'm going to go live with other people, and we're going to discuss it all together. Dybala. Gasperini said that Dybala got subbed off because of an injury. I don't know if it's serious. I don't know if he misses the derby. I don't know. This is where you might be controversial. But I think also considering the type of injury he had last season, I think Dybala needs to mentally accept that he needs to become a last 30-minute player. It's sad because Dybala, as I said before, at times is easily the best player in the league. And it's not fair on him. People will say it's not fair on him. Dybala at 31 years of age will not accept to become a last 30-minute player. He won't. Because if he needs to become a last 30-minute player, then he might as well go to Saudi and do the same thing, but earn 30 million more. And I agree. It's not fair to say this. It's not fair to say this. It's right that Dybala wants to play from the very beginning. Because he isn't 40 years old. He's 31. Yes, he's not the youngest, but he isn't 40 years. He isn't Modric, who came to Milan and will accept that it's kind of the last path of his career. Dybala is 31 years of age, but Dybala's fitness is an issue. And if you want to keep Dybala's longevity going and fitness going for the majority of the season, Dybala needs to accept that he can't be starting games anymore, and that Soule should start. And in cases of difficulties, like against Pisa, where we can't find the goal, or even if we win, of course, but especially in moments where we can't find the goal, he comes in the last 30 minutes and he kills the game and he wins us the game. Because it's not sustainable anymore. It's not sustainable that Dybala got injured against, against Cagliari in March last season. Misses the season. He's out for the season. Comes back in gradually. Doesn't start against Bologna. Doesn't start against Pisa. Starts against Torino today and gets injured. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. So it's not fair. But unfortunately, I agree with people who say that Dybala needs to accept to become a last 30-minute type player. He needs to accept this. Or at least, I want to see Dybala getting in rather than starting. Because I think Dybala, when the rhythms of the game are already broken and the teams have already understood each other, Dybala plays better. And Dybala is more effective. And Dybala scores more goals and creates more. Because Dybala against a fatigued opponent's defense is threatening, is unbelievable. But if he needs to start from the beginning, the rhythms still need to find themselves, teams are studying each other, the players are still cold, muscles aren't going, they're still, they still aren't fired up. It takes time for Dybala to get into the game, which is why I think today, add to the fact that he wasn't playing in his position, of course, didn't do much. So I that's something that it's to consider. Last thing, it's not the end of the world. We won the first 2 games, lost one. It happens. The international break is to blame 100%. Stupid international breaks after 2 game weeks are to blame. Because it breaks the momentum and the rhythm. So, of course, the international break, had we played this game the weekend after Pisa, we would have won. International break is also to blame, but it can't be the number one. We played bad today, guys. Let's not lie to ourselves. We didn't deserve to win. So, I think you need to sit down, analyze this performance, and be better. We've got a derby coming up in 7 days. So, be better, be readier, and what went wrong today needs to get cancelled out of the memory in the next game. Everyone is to blame today. Manager, players. But these are the defeats that you can't lose. That you can't lose. It's early, time, patience. Whoever is giving up right now is simply and only delusional. Remember who we have as manager. Remember how long it took him to win with Atalanta. Remember how much it takes for the players to assimilate the concepts of how he wants to play. But you can't lose these games. You can't. You can't. At home against Torino, you can't lose. You can't lose. These are the games that if you want to compete with Napoli, look at Napoli yesterday. Juventus, look at Juventus yesterday. Inter, because Inter lost, yes, but I think they played a great game yesterday. if you want to compete with those teams, break through and get in that top four, you need to win these. You can't lose at home against Torino. You can't. It needs to get cancelled out of your thoughts to even lose at home against Torino. So this is a heavy defeat. Yes, people will say, it's the start of the season. Absolutely, absolutely. Which is why I'm mad, I'm pissed. But it's not the end of the world. But if you start losing these games, then it's going to be very hard. Very, very hard. That's my little match reaction, guys. I'm going to go live in like 10 minutes with a talk with other people, sharing our thoughts. So I invite you to come back, bring your thoughts, because we are going to read comments in the next live stream. We're going to make it interactive. Ranieri would have won this game. Oh, I agree, 100%. I agree. You know why Ranieri would have won this game? Because this is not an attack to Gasperini. It's just different eras of football. Ranieri grew up in... Ranieri became a manager, 50 years ago. 50 years ago, football changed. And 50 years ago, one ideology managers never changed. The winning formation never gets changed. And that's what Ranieri does because he grew up in a completely different managerial era. So, yeah, I agree. Ranieri would have won this game, 100%. 100%, because Ranieri doesn't... Gasperini is a manager. He's so tactically insightful that he's so obsessed in trying to make the opponents distract themselves by changing everything up. That's something that sometimes it works, but at times changing a lot is never good. So yeah, right guys, hit the like, subscribe, come back in like 10 minutes in the next live stream, and we're gonna have a longer one, and we're gonna bring your comments too. Hit the like, subscribe, 100 likes, subscribe, and hit the like. It's always easy to be positive, hit the like when we win, but unfortunately it's part of the progress, so it happens to lose. Remain positive, and yeah. Right, I'm going to catch you in literally 10 minutes. Simo out.